Louis Daniel Armstrong, born on August 4, 1901, in New Orleans, Louisiana, is celebrated as one of the most influential figures in the history of jazz music. Known idly gifted with a distinctive voice and virtuoso trumpet skills, he transformed American music and became a global ambassador of jazz. His infectious energy, innovative style, and warm personality made him a beloved figure across generations and continents. From the streets of New Orleans to international stardom, Armstrong's life is a powerful story of talent, resilience, and the universal language of music. Armstrong grew up in poverty in a rough neighborhood of New Orleans known as the Battlefield. His father abandoned the family early, and his mother worked as a domestic laborer to support Louis and his sister. Young Armstrong spent much of his childhood under the care of his grandmother. Despite the hardships, the vibrant musical culture of New Orleans surrounded him. Brass bands, riverboats, and street parades filled the city with rhythm and melody. At age 6, he began singing on the streets for pennies, absorbing the sounds of blues, ragtime, and early jazz that would later shape his artistry. A turning point came in 1913, when Armstrong was arrested for firing a pistol, loaded with blanks, during a New Year's celebration. He was sent to the Colored Waifs Home for boys, a reform school. There, he received his first formal music instruction, learning to play the cornet in the institution's brass band. The experience proved transformative. Armstrong discovered his passion for music and developed discipline and skill. Upon his release, he eagerly immersed himself in the New Orleans music scene, playing in local bands, and absorbing the styles of early jazz pioneers like King Oliver. In the early 1920s, Armstrong joined Joe King Oliver's Creole Jazz Band in Chicago, marking the beginning of his rise to prominence. Oliver, a mentor to the young musician, gave him the opportunity to record his first tracks. These early recordings showcased Armstrong's technical brilliance and expressive phrasing, setting him apart from his contemporaries. By 1924, he had moved to New York City and joined Fletcher Henderson's orchestra, one of the top African-American bands of the era. His powerful solos and innovative approach to improvisation influenced the entire ensemble and helped spread the jazz sound beyond regional boundaries. The mid-1920s marked Armstrong's breakthrough as a solo artist. Returning to Chicago, he recorded the landmark Hot 5 and Hot 7 sessions between 1925 and 1928. These recordings revolutionized jazz, shifting the focus from collective improvisation to individual solos. Armstrong's virtuosity on the trumpet, combined with his rhythmic innovation and scat singing, improvised vocalization using nonsense syllables, set new standards for the genre. Tracks like West End Blues and Potato Head Blues demonstrated his ability to turn a simple melody into a complex, emotionally charged performance. As the 1930s dawned, Armstrong became a household name. He toured extensively across the United States and Europe, captivating audiences with his charismatic stage presence, wide smile, and joyful energy. His vocal recordings, including Heebie Jeebies, one of the earliest examples of scat singing, and Ain't Misbehavin', became popular hits. Armstrong's voice, gravelly, warm, and deeply expressive, became as recognizable as his trumpet playing. He successfully bridged the gap between jazz and popular music, making the genre accessible to a wider audience without compromising its artistic integrity. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, Armstrong continued to perform and record prolifically. He formed a small group called the All-Stars, which included some of the finest jazz musicians of the time. With this ensemble, he toured the world, earning the nickname Ambassador Satch, a play on his nickname Satchmo, short for Satchel Mouth, a reference to his wide smile and large embouchure. His performances in Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe were particularly notable, as they introduced jazz to audiences who had never experienced it before. During the Civil Rights Movement, Armstrong's status as a Black American icon carried symbolic weight, though he often avoided direct political statements. preferring to let his music speak for itself. Armstrong's cultural impact extended beyond the concert stage. He appeared in over 30 films, bringing jazz to the silver screen and further popularizing the genre. His rendition of What a Wonderful World, 1967, became an anthem of optimism and hope, resonating with listeners across generations. Despite health challenges in his later years, he continued performing until shortly before his death. On July 6, 1971, Louis Armstrong passed away in New York City, leaving behind a vast musical legacy that continues to inspire artists worldwide. Louis Armstrong's influence on music is immeasurable. He elevated jazz from a regional folk tradition to a sophisticated art form, pioneered improvisation as a central element of performance, and demonstrated the power of individual expression in music. His technical mastery, emotional depth, and joyful spirit transformed not only jazz, but popular music as a whole. Today, his recordings remain essential listening, and his story, from a childhood in poverty to global stardom, serves as an inspiration of how talent, hard work, and love for one's craft can transcend barriers and touch the hearts of millions. Armstrong didn't just play music, he embodied it, and in doing so, he gave the world a soundtrack of joy, resilience, and humanity.